What's your response to conservatives that say, we don't see color? We would gladly vote for Candace Owens. It's the Democrats who are racist. I got you. My personal response to them is I would call them a liar to their face. They would never vote for her. They would never vote for a woman, let alone a black woman. If they had Candace Owens in the Republican primaries, she would come in dead last. They say that they like Candace because she says exactly what they want to hear a black person say, but that does not mean that they respect her in any way. They like her because she says things about black people that they already think about black people, and they love to have their opinions validated. Can you tell a bigot that majority of black people do not like Candace Owens and she does not speak for them? They usually say something along the lines of, well, they just don't like her because she's telling the truth. And what they mean by that is she's telling my version of the truth. Candace Owens is exactly like an evangelical preacher. She knows that if she tells these idiots exactly what they want to hear, they are going to give her piles of money. And as an extra added bonus, conservatives can use her as a black friend cred, saying, you know what? I can't be racist. I really like that Candace Owens. It would be like if there was a conservative trans person who said, I don't think that trans women belong anywhere in women's spaces. They would say that they like that person, but they don't. They only like what they're saying. All conservatives want is to have somebody validate their opinions. They do not want to be challenged in any way. They don't want to bother thinking critically. They just want somebody to tell them what they already think in their tiny little brains. Because it's so much easier and more comfortable to believe what you've always believed than to challenge your belief systems. Critical thinking can be very difficult because sometimes the things that you have believed your entire life, you suddenly realize is wrong. And now you have to confront that. And that is a little uncomfortable. It wasn't easy for me to wake up one day and realize that I was taught a bunch of racist shit as I was growing up. And thank fake God that I grew up in an integrated school, so I got to meet a bunch of diverse people and realize that they weren't that much different than I was. That's just the first step. Then you have to decide whether or not you want to grow as a person, whether or not you want to hold on to that lie for your entire life, or if you want to just say, you know what, I was wrong. And the ironic thing is that a lot of times these people would gain a lot more respect just for admitting that they were wrong rather than to just hold on to the belief that they always had. But they are afraid to take that risk. Actually, they're afraid of almost everything in their lives. There have actually been several studies on this topic, which are fascinating. Liberals and conservatives actually have different brain structure. Conservatives, on the average, tend to have a larger amygdala brain region. That part of the brain is associated with processing fear and threat detection. This is why conservatives are usually the ones who are preppers or the ones who buy most of the weapons. This is why they are much more likely to want a dictator. They want a strong leader to tell them what to do. As where the liberals have a larger anterior cingulate cortex. This part of the brain is linked with error detection and cognitive flexibility. This means we tend to have a greater openness to new experiences and complexities. Conservatives tend to feel more comfortable doing what they have always done, as where liberals tend to be a little bit more adaptive. So when they tell you things like, I don't see color, they're full of shit. That is what they are focused on foremost. And when they say they like people like Candace Owens, what they're really saying is, I don't like the majority of black people, but this one over here is okay because they say what I like. That doesn't mean they want to invite her over to their barbecue. That just means that they want to use her as a weapon against other black people. Anyway, I know that I took the long way around of answering your question, but I hope that I did answer it for you. So whenever you hear somebody say, I really like that Candace Owens, make them explain that. Say, what about her do you like exactly? And when they explain it to you the way that they're going to, say, oh, I get it. You like her because she talks bad about other black people. Then just sit back and watch them uncomfortably backtrack trying to tell you that's not what they mean.